Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Emperor Poxal and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. And today we are back with Season 2 of the Bleach Anime's Returns, kind of like a podcast slash series that we have on the channel. And today our guest is the one, the only, Mr. Blurr.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. I'm so humbled by this. And man, anything that's related to Bleach in general, I'm just excited to do. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. I mean, you have some awesome reactions over on your channel where he was watching Bleach for the first time, and I think you only just
Yep.
finished it, right? Like 2 months ago?
So what happened originally is that the channel that you see now that I have, just Blurr Nation, the regular channel there, I actually had that's my second channel.
Mm-hmm.
So, to try to condense the story because, without giving too much detail. So I did have a channel before that where I reacted to the Bleach anime first throughout its whole entirety, right? Except for the Bound arc. I think that filler. That was the only arc I didn't react to on the channel back then. That was a whole separate channel. But that channel got copyright claimed. It actually got copyright strike. So that channel was taken down, unfortunately, when we were at 5.1. And this was past January, the end of January. So I had literally, it was upsetting. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And so I had to start up a new channel. So that's why you'll see, for those that know and those who are new, hi, by the way, when you come to the channel, you'll see some of the anime videos still there, and some that are not. But yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm also pretty sure you did read Thousand Year Blood War as a whole, because I remember, I don't know if it was in your stream or in your review, you mentioned
Yep.
everything but the rain, which is what made me consider you for this series, because
Yes.
it wouldn't be very good to have somebody who hasn't read Thousand Year Blood War on a video about
Yeah.
Thousand Year Blood War.
Yeah, dude. Yes, I did. I did.
Yeah.
I read it. I reacted to it. I still have those video storage. I took them down just for, safe purposes, but I still have those videos, those reactions. Absolutely enjoyed it. Love it. Absolutely loved
um,
it.
so I guess to get started, what did you rate Thousand Year Blood War as a whole?
Man, and the crazy thing about it is, and I'm sure you realize this too going into it. So I don't know. So first of all, how long so when did you read that time period? Thousand Year Blood War. Was it just recently or was it a couple years ago? You've been waiting like everyone else.
So a little bit about me and my history with Bleach is I was actually a Bleach fan for a very long time. Like I think at
Gotcha.
this point it's been like 6 or 7 years, maybe even 8. I started with the anime and I thought that that's all there was with the anime.
Yeah.
Last year or like a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years ago, I don't really have a
Mhm.
schedule figured out. I found out that there was more. Well, that the manga
Yep.
contained a final arc. Now I
Yes.
put off. Actually, no, I found out about that like 3 years ago. Now at that time, I heard like rumors about the Bleach anime coming back, and I was like, I'll scoot this aside. I'll wait for the Bleach anime to come back. Now, I think it was before the announcement came back, I decided to sit down and read it, and that's what changed Bleach from being my third favorite anime to being my
Yep.
favorite. Well, not anime, but from my third favorite to being my favorite.
Ooh, so it's your absolute favorite now. Like it's
Yeah, nothing
Bleach
else.
is where it's at,
Yeah, we
and
got the Bleach box sets.
oh, one. I have that same one. I have box three and I have box two.
Oh,
I just need
same.
I need box one. That's all I need. I need that. It did. I was actually going to do kind of a showcase of that on the separate channel that I have for Blur Collectibles. Where I'm storing all the statues, unboxings, and
Yeah.
all that sort. But yes, I love it, dude. It's definitely quality. It's
Mm,
quality stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, no. So to answer your question, sorry for getting off track. About Thousand Year Blood War, where I would rate it. So going into it, just like Bleach as a whole, because I didn't react to it till last year, and I think the reason why I didn't react to it is because you hear all these people, different opinions about Bleach saying, "Oh, it's not good. Oh, it doesn't get good. Oh, well, it stops being good after the Soul Society arc, is what I heard the most. So it's kind of pointless to watch it. It's the Waco Mundo arc is a rehash of the Soul Society
Yeah.
arc. La. I heard everything, because before Bleach, I was such a huge Dragon Ball, which was my first anime since I was a kid. That was
Mhm.
my anime growing up, since like fourth grade or so. I'm 30 years old now, and until I got to like sophomore year in high school, and then I started watching Naruto, and then I fell in love with Naruto and everything about it till I would say till the time I started reacting to Bleach, honestly, which is this past year,
Yeah.
and I just could not believe how much the naysayers were absolutely wrong. Like I was just like, what the heck? Why does this
Mhm.
series get slept on? Why do everybody just have to bring negativity towards it more than any other of the big three?
Yeah.
That's
It,
beyond me. It's beyond me. It's sad to say it because it's truly Kubo is magnificent. He is brilliant in
mhm.
his foreshadowing, which we all know and love. But to get into the
Yeah.
Thousand Year Blood War, a lot of people when I was going into that, people were like, well, the second half was rushed. They tried to give me all the backstory. Kubo, with Shonen Jump, he was ill at the time, and they were rushing him to get it done. So I was still going
Yeah.
with it into it with an open mind. But and then so what I would rate it is, are we doing this out of 5?
Out of
Should we
10.
just do this
Out of
out of
10.
5?
Out of 10.
Out of 10. Man, I am literally going to have to give it. And this is me being biased. No, this is me being unbiased. This is me going in as a reviewer, right?
Uh-huh.
And not my love for the series. I am going to have to say a 9.5. Hear me out.
Okay. No, you
In
don't,
the
you don't
reason,
even you don't even have to say that because we have the same score.
okay. But the fan in me, I would
Yeah.
give it 11 out of 10. 11 out of 10.
Oh,
The
yeah.
fan side of me
I,
would give it 11 out of 10.
I'm working on a video where I was looking at hot takes. I took hot takes from the Bleach fans, and somebody was like, the second half of Thousand Year Blood War, although everybody says it's a 3 out of 10, in my opinion, it's an 8 out of 10. I was like, I actually, to a degree, agree with that. I think that the first
Yeah.
half of Thousand Year Blood War is a 30
Ooh.
out of 10, and then the second
It's a
half.
it's an app, man. That first half, man, dude. I couldn't even like. Let me say this: as a Naruto fan, you guys can't even call me biased. Whoever's watching this, by the way, you see what's behind me right here. I have both Ichigo and I have both Naruto, so I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of both, right? And I will tell you this: I think, just in my opinion, the Thousand Year Blood War arc is definitely greater than the Fourth Great Ninja War arc of Naruto. I said it, my opinion, because this goes out. Oh man, it's just so much to fill in. It's so many great moments, so unexpected moments.
Mhm.
Oh man, I mean, if we
And to copy exactly what James said, I didn't tell this guy to say this.
he did not pay me, okay? He didn't pay me. He didn't wire anything
Yeah.
to my account. You don't have to worry.
I really do need to read the war arc for Naruto. I stopped right after Pain.
Well, Pain was. It's hard to get past Pain for most casual readers, or not even casual readers. I won't say casual readers because casual readers will get past it, but who are like us, like really fans of the series and expect more out of the storytelling and the characters and character development and all of that stuff, right? And how it
Yeah.
plays out. So for most people, and I get why from both of the spectrums, the Pain arc was done so well. Masashi Kishimoto hands down
I
has
agree.
done that arc so well. Especially just in the character development of Naruto itself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was done beautifully. So it was hard to get past that and then go to the other arcs and be like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, there's still great moments. Don't shoot me, please.
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in Naruto. I stopped reading after everybody got back to life because I don't like stories where it kills almost every character and then brings them back to life.
Yeah, because then it's like you get it that it's anime, first of all. It's manga,
Yeah.
it's Shonen Jump, and things like that happens, resurrections, all that stuff, but to the point where that person's death isn't becomes meaningless,
Yeah.
then you start losing interest in it. I get it. I do.
100%. And I mean, I love
Mhm.
Naruto as a series. It's definitely in my
Yeah.
top 50 by far, easily.
Hmm.
Just because I
Hmm.
stopped reading it doesn't mean I'm not a fan of the series. And I have, this is probably a very hot take to say, I have
Yeah.
already finished Boruto, but I haven't finished Naruto.
What? No way! Oh, come
Okay,
on, man!
listen. So
What?
I stopped reading after the war arc, and then randomly in
Oh,
my feed, one of my friends made a Boruto recap video. I watched that, and
oh,
there's only 5 chapters left of the manga, so I was like, you know what? If I finish these last 5 chapters, I can say I've read Boruto, I can criticize
yeah.
it. So I just finished out Boruto. And I gotta say,
Oh,
I
man.
mean, Boruto wasn't terrible, so I have
Yeah.
an assumption that the war arc has the same idea, where it's not as bad as the naysayers say.
Yep.
But with some of the stuff I've heard, it's definitely like from a perspective of somebody who hasn't read it. Here's where I assume.
Shippuden falls to me for me as a Naruto fan. Shippuden falls with that last arc just quite a bit, but not enough to make it like, oh, this isn't like this story Shippuden is bad because of the ending, or how it
Hmm.
played out. But it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's not like great across the board, if that makes
I,
sense.
yeah,
Where Naruto, the OG series, is great across the board. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It really is.
I
Um,
I would say with everything, as somebody who hasn't seen the war arc before
yep,
everybody got revived, I think Shippuden beated OG Naruto for me.
it did. It
Yeah.
did. It. I mean, it made you like all the emotions that you felt. Let's do comparison, right? So like, you know how you got that first feeling when you watched Haku, and Zabuza and that arc.
Yeah.
The feelings that came with it, when all that stuff. And you compare that, but the thing about Shippuden, it amplifies that. Towards the pain arc, especially the pain arc. You get all
Yeah.
these different emotions, and that's what Kishimoto does best. He loves pulling on those strings. He just like, oh, I'm gonna make you cry right here.
Yeah.
I can make you cry right here. Everything's gonna be good. Nope. So I definitely do agree with that. That
Yeah.
Shippuden is, yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
out of the big three, I do respect Kishimoto as it. I think out of the big three character writers,
Yeah.
he had the least of his series planned out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I do give credit where credit's due when it comes to that.
See, you're a good sport though. That's what I appreciate.
Yeah.
It's when we get, you should see when I'm holding a live stream, and as soon as Bleach come in and some people from Naruto come in, then they debate power scaling from both universes. It just turns into a fiesta, and I'm like, dude. And then people say, well, Naruto wasn't good at this, Bleach wasn't. I'm like, why can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
Just enjoy the two for what they're worth. You like they're. I mean, you'll never see a big three like this ever again. In
Hmm.
my honest opinion,
Oh
you
yeah.
won't get that.
People try
You will
to
not get that,
people try to compare My Hero sales to Bleach and Naruto sales. My Hero in its
I-
prime is not selling better than Bleach in its lowest point.
bro. And then they try to do, was it My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen? I think has been put into that argument now. And what, Demon Slayer maybe?
Yeah,
And
Demon
Demon Slayer
Slayer.
has done phenomenal. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Granted, the studio that's producing that, that everybody likes to go by, well, it's
Ufotable.
because it has
Yeah.
great animation. So, but the story falls flat, but it has great animation. That's why everybody loves it. La da la da la. I get that opinion, but I just think in general there will never be a big three like Naruto, Bleach, and even One Piece.
And
I don't, and I tried watching One Piece, and I don't know. I couldn't, and I'm not trying to take a shot. I'm just saying I personally couldn't stay immersed in that land long enough. You know what I mean?
it, it's
So,
the art style, I think. I mean, I'm reading One
and that
Piece for
could be
the
it too.
first time myself right now, and I'm loving it. But
Yeah.
I still, the art style still feels weird to me.
Yeah.
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 I definitely
Yeah.
agree that there will never be another big three. I think what makes the big three so distinct is how many sales they got per volume, but how
Yep.
long they ran. Because if we
Oh,
take something like Demon
oh,
Slayer, Demon Slayer's beaten Bleach in sales. It has. But it
yes,
didn't run nearly as long as Bleach did. Like, they
yes,
don't have Demon Slayer to sell the magazine anymore. They used to have Bleach to be able to sell their magazine, but now Demon Slayer isn't even in the magazine. Or, like,
yes.
take something like Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, we just got told that
Mhm.
Jujutsu Kaisen is in its, last 2 years?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
which means that it's probably going to have, like, 30 volumes at maximum.
yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. That I mean, the big three has held it down for such a long period of time.
yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And I think and someone brought up a good point about it too, is that these newer shows, just like to your point about the volumes, they just have shorter arcs. Like
Hmm.
and they, you know what I mean? It's not long at all by any means compared to these shows now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because Shonen is going a different route because of how everything panned out with, you know, especially with Kubo, what happened with him and him trying to pre-plan this series. Because I heard, I don't know if this is a rumor or not, or if this is a true rumor, but I heard he wanted the Thousand Year Blood War to be even longer,
Oh, yeah.
like really, like
Thousand Year Blood War was supposed to be longer than Naranka arc.
yes, okay, yes, and a wrong card. We all know how long that was.
Yeah.
We knew, and yeah, so I think that definitely Shonen. That would have
Uh,
been beautiful. It would have been
Granted,
beautiful.
his story does continue though. So Tite Kubo, his plan after he got sick, he met up with Shonen Jump. The whole misconception about Shonen Jump canceling Tite Kubo, it's false. Tite Kubo was sick and he decided that he was going to end his series 2 years before he decided to end his series. Granted,
Gotcha.
that 2 years was shortened down to 1 year because what he decided to do with Shonen Jump was the light novel plan. Continuing the series and Can't Fear Your Own World and some of the
Mhm.
other light novels out there, which were planned before Bleach ended. That's why people are saying, oh, so all of a sudden these light novels appear to
Yeah.
save the Bleach story. But no, they were planned before Bleach ended. So they are a continuation of the
Gotcha.
story. Um,
Gotcha.
it's not Kubo trying to milk the series anymore. And they actually were released closer to the end date of the manga. It's just
Yeah.
they weren't translated to English until rather recently. So it's and light novels tend to take longer to translate. But
See,
yeah.
and that's really cool. Although I still have plans to read Can't Fit Your Own World. I know everybody's been like, you've been saying that for a year, Blur. I know, but I still want to. I heard Shuhei was definitely a worthy protagonist in that story. And I just can't wait to read that too. But that does definitely make sense with everything like that, given the
Yeah.
situation that he had with Shonen. But one thing that, this is going to go a little bit off topic. One thing I do appreciate that I give respect. Well, one, I already respect Kubo to the fullest, um, regardless. But one thing that made me respect him so much more is that to me, he's one of those rare few artists that can even put off a spinoff. Not even a spinoff, because it's really not. Burn the Witch is a separate story, but still within the Bleach universe. Is still have that be popular with
Hmm.
three female protagonists. It still do well doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
I
know
mean,
Masashi Kishimoto released Samurai 8. I don't know if you're familiar with
yeah,
that.
I am.
He tried after Naruto was finished, he tried to do something else, and then that's where Samurai 8 came in. And I've actually read it. I read it when it was releasing, when it was serialized, and it was releasing, was it a month? Was it monthly or weekly? I completely forgot.
I
Maybe it
don't
was
know.
monthly, but it failed. And Shonen was like, oh, it was like you got to end this fast. So the story is like you can tell, like, okay, he had to
Uh
end it
huh.
because it wasn't doing well at all, like he wanted it to
From
be.
what I heard is it was bad, 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 and then right as it was
Yeah,
about to end, it started picking up.
yeah, he had no choice. He was like, crap, I gotta just it just sucked. Like I felt bad for him, but. That's what I meant. I respect Kubo, and I think he deserves a lot more
Hmm.
credit because he's able to tell a different story. And
Yeah.
that story is it's hot. Everybody's feeding for Burn the Witch too. Everybody gets excited, especially Bleach fans because it's set within the Bleach universe. So it's cool.
I think, Burn the Witch was a massive success. For those that don't know, it sold phenomenally well. It outsold the first 2 volumes of Samurai 8 in 1 volume. And somebody was telling me this on Twitter, so grain of salt. I don't know much about sales when it comes to manga. I don't pay attention that much. But apparently Burn the Witch got top 5 best-selling first volumes for the first 3 weeks inside of Shonen Jump magazine.
See? And that's the crazy thing to me is that, like, I wonder now, like, that Kuba's done that, right? He's put out Burn the Witch, and you see this massive success. But to me, I'm questioning it on the back end. I wonder, does, like, Shonen Jump, do they see that, this guy, maybe we shouldn't have rushed him do this, la. He still can make quality, great stuff. You know what I mean?
Well,
because there was
I do want to fix that statement real quick. Shonen Jump did not rush Kubo. It was his sickness that rushed him.
It was his sickness that rushed him. Okay. Yeah,
that's a misconception in the community.
Thank you. You guys heard it too, for those. It's good to hear from the right source. All right. Thank you. All right. Yeah, man. But I was gonna ask you a question. So, which is your favorite arc in Bleach? It's Thousand Year Blood War. okay. Usually that's like, if you seen it, it's kind of like the
Yeah, but I will say my second favorite arc would surprise the majority of the viewers now. It's actually Fullbring is my second favorite.
Mine too.
Let's go.
Mine too. Dude. Hey, see, dude. I remember when I was even reacting to Bleach and I got past the Armor Car arc, after the, Ichigo versus Aizen fight, all that hypeness, and everybody was telling me, my subscribers was like, I don't like the Fullbring arc. I don't like it. It's not that good. La. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just, open mind as usual. And I loved it. I was like, dude, I absolutely loved it. Yeah. I loved it. I can see why people didn't, because 1, there's not that many fights. 2, with Genjo and gang, you didn't get a lot of screen time, a lot more character development to kind of flesh them out a little bit more, as opposed to Armor Car. So I kind of understand those, but I just love the thriller and the suspense of it. And I was like, wow, this is genius. That Kubo literally, okay, here's this style in this arc.
Yeah.
And I'm going this way now.
Yeah.
Make that risk and still make it work. I loved it.
Yeah, the arc is actually mirroring the first arc of Bleach. If you take a look at like the length size and all that type of stuff. Now, I will say, Fullbring definitely has its flaws as a series. I am a sucker, though, for mind-boggling arcs. Arcs where the protagonist's mind gets toyed with and turned upside down. I am a sucker for those. So that's why I loved Fullbringer so much.
Dude. And that's, and that's another thing, too, that I try to bring up to people all the time. It's like, dude, it's, regardless, Soul Society, Armor Car arc, is, that's mainly battling, with power, just, the kind of the typical Shonen Jump battles, and that's kind of scaling in that point. Whereas, yes, you're right. The Fullbring arc is more of a mental game. And it is. And Ichigo literally, I mean, we heard this man cry.
Yeah. Like, he killed for the first time.
Like, it was something to behold. And I just love it because it's just like, one, this is something else that he has to overcome that's new. But 2, it really played a part on him because his whole motive is to protect his friends, right? That's his whole being, right? I think you could even say that, after his mother passed away, he was traumatized by that, since he was a kid. I felt like he always blamed himself partly, even though he was a kid, that he couldn't save her somehow before he found out the truth, obviously later on,
Yeah.
in Thousand Year Blood War. So that was always his being, to always protect his friends, his family, and to figure that he couldn't do that. Tsukushima, it's just wild. It's just wild.
100%. Fullbring is honestly, down to its core, phenomenal. Granted,
Yes.
I do have it, like, score-wise, as a reviewer perspective, I have it as the fourth best arc in the series. It is still, it will still always be my second favorite.
See?
So wait, is your third favorite Arankar?
Yes. Actually, because Soul Society was amazing too, though.
I think the thing between Soul Society and Arankar is 30 times better in the manga.
It is.
Yeah.
Dude, you have to understand, like me, I reacted to the anime. I didn't read the manga first. Yeah. So there was a lot of pointless episodes in there, like pointless to me, for me.
Yeah.
When I was reacting to it, I was like, and I get it though. Whatever, but
so
I read the manga.
Oh wait, so you have read the manga for the Arankar arc?
Yes, because I have it now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, this is a lot better. Like, a lot better. And obviously, I know one of the nod points is that, when Ulquiorra and Ichigo were battling and, Ichigo was down for a moment, for getting his chest blown off, laying on the ground, and Ishida had to step in and, buy some time for Ihime to heal Ichigo, that he actually lost his arm and out in the manga. And that was like the subtle difference. And I was like, wow. You know what I mean? There's a lot of subtle difference.
There's a lot of censorship and meaning lost in the adaptation. And I think that is why Arankar to this day is my least favorite adaptation out of most things. I mean, of course, there's Berserk 2016 out there. That's the obvious example as like the worst adaptation. But I think the Arankar arc took something that was poetically a masterpiece and turned it upside down. Like, writing-wise and looking at from a viewer's perspective, like a reviewer, reading the manga version of the Arankar arc, I think that's actually the best arc, writing-wise. I think it's the most consistent throughout the manga. In the anime, I have it like a 7 out of 10.
Okay. I think what saves that though too, besides the censorships, and one thing that the anime does do very well, and oh my god, I always praise it till this day, is the OSTs.
Oh my god,
the OSTs are so phenomenal. It is crazy when I look back at the Bleach anime. You ask me personally, what is your one of your favorite things about the anime? And I would literally tell you the OSTs. Yeah. I actually listen to the OSTs when I go and work out, literally. Like, I would be like, oh, I need some hype music. And I would just go play Calm of the Hour, Part B. I would play some other thing.
Have you seen the movie where Cometh the Hour is from? Hellverse?
Wasn't that? No. That wasn't Hellverse, was it?
No, it was Hellverse.
Okay.
Which the music is so sick for Hellverse. I mean, the movie's all right. I mean, Kubo was disappointed with the movie himself.
Yeah, he was. He was. I understand from a creator's perspective, and it's your.
Yeah, to put the anime into perspective, the anime made Tite Kubo want to throw up. Those are his
honestly,
words.
I believe it.
Yeah,
and. To your point too, look at Thousand Year Blood War. And look at the time slot that it's gotten, and I'm sure Kubo was happy about that news. I'm sure behind closed doors, he's probably was like, okay, this is coming back out. The anime's coming back out whenever it does. All I want, well, not all I want, but there's plenty of things I'm sure he wants. But I'm sure he's limited in demands of what he wants or whatever. But one of the things is you gotta have to keep the gore in there.
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna have to keep the gore in there in that arc. There's no way. But I'm happy with that. I'm happy with
that. We might still get quite a bit of censorship.
Oh my god! So it is really Studio Period?
Most likely, like 99% chance. We got them advertising stuff that doesn't directly benefit them, but benefits Bleach. We have, like all the fingers are kind of pointed at being them. They also have ownership, and
that's cool.
And they'll have Bleach might probably, perhaps, again, this is all up in the air,
Mhm.
be their main focus. I mean,
Mhm.
somebody was telling me that Boruto is getting canceled or something like that. The anime. I don't know.
Really?
I was so confused in my comments. I was like, isn't the
Really?
Boruto anime carrying the manga?
That's what I would just.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't quote me. This is just my comment section. I
yeah,
don't really
yeah.
trust. I don't really trust the claim. Not gonna lie. Even though I trust the individual behind it, I think maybe he was misled because I don't see the Boruto anime being canceled.
That could happen. That could definitely happen. Absolutely.
But I specifically don't see it being canceled for Bleach.
Yeah.
And if people are gonna make that claim, and they've made it about Black Clover.
Hmm.
Even though Black Clover is close to the manga, and it's pretty obvious why they decided to put it on hold.
Hmm.
If people make that claim about Bleach, then Bleach is gonna get a lot of more unnecessary hate from the Boruto fans and the Black Clover fans, especially if
Yep.
that's the claim that the Bleach community is gonna push. Luckily, it's not.
Well,
James put a stop to it pretty quickly. Um,
well, here's my take on that too. If that's the case, okay, I can understand why you're upset about that or whatever, being a Boruto fan or a Black Clover fan and all that stuff. But for us, it's like we've been, well, especially, I mean, I've only been waiting for the Thousand Year Blood War to be animated for a year, not even a year. But for most people, they've been
yeah,
waiting for what, 6, 7 years,
yeah.
and just waiting for it to return. So this is for them. And I'm just excited to be a part of this train now. So,
Yeah, it's exciting. So, what is your favorite part about Thousand Year Blood War? We're finally getting to Thousand Year Blood War. 30
oh
minutes in.
man, man. Okay, yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. My favorite is definitely is going to be, and this is actually my favorite manga chapter in Bleach in general. It is going to be The Blade Is Me.
Oh,
It is going to
okay.
be, yeah, it is going to be. I love everything but the rain. I still think that it definitely has that's like gotta be like top two, top three best flashback. Being a story told by Ishin, of course. Him and Ichigo. That's my favorite father and son duel,
Uh
of course.
huh.
But that's just an anime and manga. It's my favorite father and son duel. I love them so much.
Hmm.
But The Blade Is Me. I remember reading that chapter and I remember reacting to it, finding out the truth. And it's so crazy because for this time, I mean, there's a lot of sad moments in Bleach, of course, but this one really actually hit me unexpectedly. Not only was Ichigo getting the truth, but you see, and Kubo is so great at drawing the expressions of these characters in the
Yeah.
panels without even having them mutter a single word, you to kind of understand, what they're feeling without, them actually saying it, and
I think it
I
was
think,
somebody said One Eye in Bleach is more emotion than the entire One Piece manga.
dude, it is so true though. I absolutely love it. And I think Kubo does not get enough credit for it though.
Yeah, I mean,
Is
I disagree with One Eye being more emotion than the entire One Piece manga, but I do agree that One Eye in
I
Bleach has
mean,
a lot
I
of
think they
emotion.
I mean, that's kind of overkill. Like, don't, hey, I get it, you're excited, but chill.
I mean,
No,
just
I love it.
yeah. I mean,
I
in
love
the
it.
Aranka arc, again, getting off topic. I know.
Hey, go
Ukiora,
ahead,
when
man.
you watch as he's dying, you can see it in his eye, like the emotion
Yeah.
dissipate as he turns to
Yes.
dust, pretty much.
Yes.
But
Yes. It was so
yeah,
beautiful.
my favorite Thousand Year Blood War moment has to be every moment.
Ooh, I like that. The only reason why I said The Blade Is Me and him finding out the truth is because that part actually made me cry a little bit. I'm not even
Mhm.
playing. I'm not a softie. And that part when old man Zangetsu was talking to Ichigo about why he did what he did, you
Yeah,
know, because I fell in love with Old Man Zangetsu. I mean, when you first
yeah.
get introduced to him and you follow him, it was one of those mysterious characters, obviously, that I just absolutely loved. Every time he's on screen, I'm sure a lot of people will say that, obviously, too. But I just loved him so much, and it was almost like I don't know. It was almost like a father and son moment in a weird way.
No, yeah, I get
Because you
that.
know what I mean?
He's so close with Ichigo because he is one with Ichigo.
Yes.
Like, and that's, yeah,
Exactly.
that's the point. And
Exactly, dude.
it's always great because I always see people like being like, my favorite character so far on Bleach is Old Man Zangetsu, and I'm just standing there like, you have no idea.
That's what everybody was telling me too. They were like, "Oh man, you." It actually, so what? Oh yeah, no. I was gonna say because you said all of them. So how did you feel? Oh, actually, I'll ask you this. So out of all the deaths in Thousand Year Blood War, which was the one that made you the most sad?
Well, it was a fake death. But actually, I'd have to say Yamamoto, but it's not because of Yamamoto's death. It's more so because of Shunsui's and the other Gotai 13's reaction to his death.
Yamaji.
Yeah, because
Yes,
like
yes.
Yamamoto's death was more like, oh my gosh, this man is prideful. Like it was more like sickening to watch as you watch him try to struggle and continue to fight so that he doesn't die in shame.
Oh,
And then,
oh,
but like the
oh
second he gets
man.
cut, it cuts straight to Shunsui's reaction. Because Yamamoto
Yeah.
was like a father to Shunsui and Ukitake.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you definitely felt that. You definitely felt that. And like to your point, I think I was really sad and I was angry during that scene because you just have Yuha just talking mad crap to him while he's on the ground still,
Yeah.
struggling with one hand. He's like pretty much, okay, you're old, you're stubborn. If you would have had Orihime hold you, but you don't trust anybody, you probably could have put up a better
Well,
fight.
yeah. I
And
think the big thing there, though, is because Yamamoto was so honorable and he was so
yeah,
prideful that
yeah,
he felt like it would be dishonorable to have a human heal
exactly.
him.
And I get it. I
Yeah.
understand both of their points, so I get it. But it was just the fact, like,
Yeah.
yeah, he was struggling at the end, and Yuha was just sitting there talking crap to him as he was struggling.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is at the end of the day, that Yamamoto was technically stronger than his younger self. What made him weak,
Yeah.
though, was the fact he had one arm. I mean, Bleach puts
Yes.
an emphasis on one arm in the series. One arm basically means half the strength. Like, we see
Yep.
Kenpachi fighting a Noitra, and
Yep.
all he has to do is put one other arm on his sword and strike down on a Noitra, and he completely demolishes the man. He uses Ryodan, and that's a kendo type move for those that are interested. And as he swings down, it completely destroys the
Yep.
Noitra. But that's because he
Yep.
was using
Oh,
two
true.
hands. Inside the world of
Yes.
Bleach, there's major ways to get stronger, but it puts emphasis on two hands
Two
and
hands.
names.
Absolutely. You know that. You know what's so funny about that fight? Everybody, or that just that, in just using the two hands, is that I remember when I was reacting to that fight, Kenpachi versus Noitra, and everybody was like, "That's an A pull. That is an A pull. Just two hands. It can do that much strength." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, you guys read into it way too much. And it actually makes sense even more because you're using obviously, just related to real life. If you're swinging with one hand, no matter what kind of
Mm-hmm.
blade it is or how heavy it is, it's not going to be your full strength, right? You're not using your whole body swinging it, right? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, but it's funny, yeah,
And I mean,
absolutely.
we also know how broken kendo can be. I mean, Kenpachi was
Hmm.
training kendo for only a day, and they were so scared of how strong Kenpachi could be with kendo that they were like, put a pause on this man's training.
Stop it! They were
Yeah.
like, cut it out.
I think it was Ito something. I'm trying to remember the second word, but it's Hado number 96. The
Mhm.
Hado that Yamamoto uses against Aizen that actually damages Aizen.
Oh yeah,
Um,
okay,
which was,
okay,
yeah, fire moment. But I don't know
yep.
why I brought that up. It just came in my head. Anyway, before that,
Because it was a dope
we see
moment.
Yamamoto using kendo himself, Hitsumi Nadaguri. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a kendo move where he's moving his sword so fast that the human eye cannot see it.
Yep.
All you see is him take
Yep.
out the sword, resheath it, and Aeon's dead.
It was. I mean, I'm gonna say it right off the back, and everybody should know this, but it's not. It's Bleach is. I just hate that. And that everything's subjective. I get it or whatever, but I just with Bleach. It's just when you look at everything, you look at the scope, you look at the small details, especially when you read through the whole manga, and for what it is, it just has so many amazing things about it that I just don't get understand. Like I get it, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, right? And I get that part, but just to sit there and put it down or say it's not great because
Hmm.
it's just like it's a load of crap. It's a load of
I
crap.
mean, it's
It
like
really
you,
is.
yeah, it's like you with One Piece. You're not disrespecting One Piece. You're just saying I can't get
Yeah,
into it.
yeah, yeah. It's not my cup of tea, and that's fine. That's fine. Some
Yeah,
people don't like Naruto. Some people don't like. That's fine. That's life.
yeah.
But when you just sit there and diminish, especially someone's work, Cooper really tried to put his work into it, and
Hmm.
for just blatant reasons,
Yeah.
it's infuriating.
Oh yeah, I saw a guy on Twitter the other day making fun of the fact that Kubo's health deteriorated. So
Uh,
if you're not fully aware, ever since Fullbring arc, Kubo's been heavily sick, and I don't know if it was during Thousand Year Blood War or Fullbring arc, but he actually tore a shoulder tendon, I think it was. Don't quote
oh
me, but he didn't
man.
know, so he was drawing art while his shoulder tendon
Oh.
was torn, and it wasn't until after the manga that he found out that he had torn a shoulder tendon.
See, and you just have to give this man his flowers. Even
Yeah,
that, it's just that he's still doing and he still loves his fan and he's still trying to do what he loves to produce
yeah.
magic for us. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
insane.
and I don't
It's insane.
know. Yeah, I don't know if Kubo was gonna. What am I saying? I don't know if Kubo was gonna end his series, but there was a portion where he felt really demotivated. He felt loneliness, and that's one thing that I love about Kubo. He puts his
Mhm,
loneliness and his emotions into his story and into his art. Art. For the longest
mhm.
time, Kubo was so lonely. I mean, to this day, I am so overjoyed that this man got a wife. Because he was so lonely
Yeah.
prior to that, and that was one of the big moments for Bleach fans. But one of the writing styles that Kubo is very well known for is called Chekhov's gun. Are you familiar with it?
No.
So it's a writing style that pretty much every small detail, or most details in the story, plays to the overall narrative of the story. So even if it's
Gotcha.
small and quietly inputted, even if it's just a
Mhm.
tiny thing in the background, it has to play. For example, Ichigo's bed sheets are the Quincy symbol.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Chekhov's gun right there.
Man, and it's crazy because the funniest thing I've ever heard, when someone's talking to me and they're like trying to just like talk about why Bleach isn't good or
Hmm.
because they always say, well, Kubo just do a lot of A pulls with every character with this certain character and this story plot and one of them in particular always make me laugh is Vasta Lorde. Vasta Lorde Ichigo. Rather
Yeah,
people don't like say Vasta Lorde, and I get that reasoning why because and some people like prefer full hollow Ichigo, whatever, right? And someone always majority always will tell me that was an A pull. Like how could he just abruptly, how could he just he first of all, he was losing to first Resurrection Ulquiorra's form, right? But then obviously Ulquiorra went into a second release. So how are you gonna sit here and tell me that Ichigo just gets this blatant transformation and overpowers Ulquiorra? And I'm just like,
yeah,
hold on. First off, it's been foreshadowed already. It's
yeah.
been foreshadowed. White, White already foreshadowed that. But when was that? That was back in Soul
Oh
Society?
no, it's been foreshadowed since the first arc. The scene where Ichigo comes out of his training, he's wearing hollow
Yep.
type stuff. The
Yep.
scenes after that, as the story continues in Soul Society arc, we see the mask show up again, protecting him as he said he would.
Yes. Yes.
Then the
That's right.
mask takes
That's right.
over during his fight against Byakuya Kuchiki, and then the whole Rancor arc is based around this mask slowly taking control of him. And actually, even after he's mastered the Hollow Mask, as the manga continues in the storytelling up to the Ukiora fight, you see his mask slowly changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it
Absolutely.
is the most
One of the
foreshadowed
biggest
thing in
speeches.
Bleach.
One of the I know, and that's what's so funny. It makes me laugh every time. And I said one of the things I always bring up. I said, okay, do you remember um the King's Horse's
Uh huh.
story where White tells? I said that's literally what you can go back. He pretty much said. if you don't end up if you don't, pretty much if you don't, how can I say it? If you don't need to do what needs to be done, and if you're not strong enough, I'm going to take over. And so, and don't die actually too. Don't die is one of them. Remember, he said, "Don't die. You don't die, Ichigo." I mean, sort of speaking, Ichigo did die from Ulquiorra twice. But...
Well, he never actually fully died. That's he's dead, but he isn't. Ohime saves him in the last second. So even when Vastalorde took control over Ichigo, Ichigo was gonna die. Vastalorde was gonna do nothing, but Ohime healed him just enough to be able to regain consciousness. He was dying in the moment that the hole was pierced his heart, and Ohime managed to bring up just a little bit to where the Vastalorde could take over and finish the regeneration.
Gotcha. But it's one of the funniest things though. When people tell
it is. I see whenever somebody says that there's ass pulls in Bleach, I always ask, name one.
No, it's like it's all different shadow. And Kuma is just so great at it that I just come to a realization is that it's just not your story. You're more of, whereas Naruto, everything's literally laid out in front of you, right? Mm-hmm. Everything's literally laid out. The details, everything within those arc and those stories, where you don't have to go back and be like, oh, he said that from that time. Foreshadowing, right? And foreshadowing is a big part of Kubo's game, and people don't care for that. They don't want to care for that half the time.
Kubo doesn't spoon feed his audience like Kishimoto does.
He doesn't, and I love him for it.
And I love tragic backstories, but that is one of my issues with Naruto is it feels like every character, every villain has a tragic backstory. Like I think I know. Yeah, I think I know Naruto's childhood better than my own childhood.
I didn't really think about it like that, but it's so true. Thinking about everybody. Okay, let's say like a character like Sakura, but that's like one of the few. Every character you probably encounter literally has a tragic backstory.
Yeah. Take from Bleach, the Espada. Ulquiorra, his backstory isn't even in the actual manga of Bleach. It's inside of a side story that Kubo released later on. So it doesn't really count if you're really thinking about it, because it's in a completely different side story. It isn't meant to be read in succession. It's meant to be read later on down. Stark, he has a tragic backstory, but here's the thing. I don't have a problem with a character having a tragic backstory. I have a problem when every single character has a tragic backstory. But mostly Espada don't. So Mari doesn't.
It's called balance. You need balance.
Yeah, and and I love it when Kubo does go for the backstories and has a strong backstory. But I also love it that the majority of the characters don't have that. Like we have the main characters having those types of backstories, but that's more so
stories that matter. Stories that matter.
Kubo does it to where it's not taking over the story. I feel like, like it amplifies the character. For example, Aizen is a type of character that you cannot understand if you don't pay attention to the dialogue.
Yes, and it is crazy because even still to this day, for me, I'm still learning more and more about Aizen. And for the record, everyone, Aizen is literally my favorite anime/manga antagonist.
Let's go.
Like he is heads down. I love everything about that character. Yeah. Everything about that character.
And I know
every scene that he's in. Yeah. He just steals the show every time. And it's even with Yuha at the end of 1,000-Year Blood War. Welcome to my soul society.
People downplay Aizen in that scene because they claim that he got knocked out because he doesn't show up after he gets tossed back. But no, in my opinion, I think Aizen gets tossed back and he's like, okay, I'm going to play it safe and just stand back here because I'm smart enough to know what's going on. I don't believe,
Literally, he really just got released, right? Like freely, right? He just got, so yeah, to your point, if I was him too, I'm like, okay, Ichigo got this now. Let me stand back and watch now and just kind of see how things play out, right?
And I mean, 1,000-Year Blood War, I think it was actually pointing to a battle between Aizen and Ichigo again. There's some indication of it, and I think that would have been sick. A fully evolved Aizen. Well, actually, Aizen could still evolve past where he's at, but a mostly evolved Aizen versus Ichigo.
Bro. Let me tell you one thing. Now we're talking about the end of this. So now I can talk about my disappointments. One of my biggest disappointments was, and I know it's not, some people might be like, well, okay, but there's bigger disappointments too, given the character or their favorite character. But I was so upset that broke Ichigo's Bankai. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And it makes realistic sense. Like, I definitely get it. Like, that's what I love about these villains, especially in Bleach, as opposed to somebody in Dragon Ball or even Naruto that would be like, oh, okay, you're gonna power up, go ahead, use your full power. Yuha's like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. I don't care.
Yeah, I get your disappointment. I think it's a mixture of depending on who exactly you are as an individual while reading it. From a writing and review standpoint, it isn't bad storytelling. In fact, it goes really well with Aizen's speech at the end of in the last chapter about courage. Like Ichigo losing his Bankai and his training being, in quotations, by the way, because it's definitely not pointless. He gets Horn of Salvation and all these other stuff, but his final training for his final Bankai being pointless, in quotations. I think that was kind of the core theme of that final battle, was this whole courage aspect. How even if you are almost powerless against your enemy and your enemy can destroy your Bankai like that, you can still take up courage and win the fight, etc. like that. I actually have a video that I want to make because nobody, very few hold this opinion. Told I like the ending of Bleach.
Ooh, no, dude. Do it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't need me to do it. Do it. But to your point, yes. Was I disappointed in it? Because for me, from my my anime vibes, the battle vibes that you get into it, I was like, okay, let's see what true Bankai Ichigo is like. Let's see it. But it's not, and then it's like, no, but I was like, crap, no. Because I'm just thinking at this point, this man, and people lowball Ichigo. I gotta say who. His powers. I mean, okay. I actually got into this debate too. Let's speak of powers or whatever. I love them. First of all, I love the Final Gesuga Tensho. Right, I love that form very heavily.
Yeah.
And I think someone brought up that the Final Gesuga Tensho is still stronger than Horn of Salvation, and I had to think about it because I was like, well, maybe if he could still use it. Okay, let's say maybe if he could still use that, which he really wouldn't need to at this point, right? Because you had this, what is it? A statement that Yuha made where
wrong.
Ichigo, where Ichigo first appeared, right? In front of him. And he said, oh, you had the same power now you're wielding that power that you defeat Aizen with, or that you battle against Aizen with.
In his normal form.
In his normal form, right?
Yeah. So
my question is, do you think Final Gesuga Tensho form is still stronger than a Horn of Salvation form?
I'm gonna have to go with Horn of Salvation because Final Gesuga Tensho, it's still debated about, but Final Gesuga Tensho is more so his all of his powers put together without him realizing that he has Quincy powers. Horn of Salvation, it's him with the realization that he has Quincy powers, accepting the fact that he has Quincy powers, which that's a huge part of Ichigo's power scaling, is him accepting who he is as an individual and accepting his powers as one and becoming one with his powers. Mugetsu's becoming one with your powers, but even a Shin could do Mugetsu, he said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, thank you, because I was like, no, Horn of Salvation. I just definitely.
Yeah,
this badass right here.
Yeah, Mugetsu's in Bankai version of that. Like, Mugetsu is him in Bankai using his Final Gesuga Tensho. Because before that, he was in Bankai, Dangai Ichigo. Now, we don't get to see Horn of Salvation in Bankai. And we got confirmation that he regained the power of Mugetsu in that form. Which people actually use that, and I've used that in my video, to power scale Aizen above Ichigo.
Yes.
Because Aizen has evolved past Mugetsu. Because he said the line at the end of Soul Society, I think it was, that he had just evolved past where Ichigo was. He has become just like Ichigo. and now he's
Yep.
evolved past that form.
Yeah.
So if
So do you
Ichigo
think
in Horn of Salvation is Mugetsu level, or maybe even slightly stronger than Mugetsu level,
is
Aizen's
is
above.
this with True Shikai Horn of Salvation, or is this with True Bankai though?
I'm just saying
We're
True
talking about.
Shinkai. True Bankai,
Okay.
with True Bankai, then yeah, probably Ichigo might win. It would just depend on the issue is Aizen could just evolve infinitely,
Yeah.
and Aizen could
Yeah.
just
Yep.
show Ichigo his Kyoku Sugetsu and then teleport away.
Yep.
Because Aizen
Yep.
literally said, like, and this is a theory I have. I know it's a wild theory, and it might be playing Aizen up a little bit. But Aizen's one of my favorite characters in Bleach, so I can do
Absolutely.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I have a theory that Aizen knew about Yuhabak.
That would be
And
definitely interesting. And what's so crazy about no, not to even cut you off. It would actually make sense of it even more, even though that was off screen. Kubo had that off screen where the original goal for the first evasion, right, of Soul Society was for Yuha to meet Aizen, right? Wasn't he trying to get Aizen to come over, like, hey, join me now?
Yeah.
And Aizen was like, no. But oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is it would make sense because Aizen knows that in his own power he could not defeat Yuabak, even if he's fully evolved. Now, we also know Aizen's goal is to become the Soul King himself, but what's the point of being a Soul King if all land becomes one?
Yes.
So what if that's why he decided to train Ichigo up? What if that's why he decided to try to turn Ichigo into the strongest person he could? What if his plans all together pointed to having Ichigo help him defeat Yuabak? This would also make sense as to why he didn't show Ichigo Kyoku Sugetsu.
That's true. And
There's a lot to Aizen that makes him complex.
Yes.
And I think people don't really understand his character who try to claim that he's in C tier.
Dude, that is so laughable. You know what's so crazy about that? I actually had a debate. So someone wanted to debate me of who's a better written villain between Frieza and between Aizen. Yes, you heard that right. Between Frieza and between Aizen.
I know somebody who thinks Frieza is the best written villain in all of manga.
Ooh!
All I know is he said that Frieza's better than Pain, Madara, and Aizen.
To me, Frieza isn't even better than Cell, so I don't care.
I like Frieza, but I think Aizen's storytelling is similar to Frieza, just done better. Like they don't have the same principle, but it's the same style where it's not directly spoon-fed to you. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, what I look at for a written character, just for me is a villain too. You can somewhat see his plans. It seemed like, okay, I can see how he think that's okay because of X, Y, and Z. I can see how he thinks this is fine. You know what I mean? That comes with it too for being a good written villain, right? Mm-hmm. That you can be like, oh, I can kind of sympathize with that. Okay, it's not. I mean, it's still bad what you're doing. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's extreme, but I can kind of get that and be like, okay, all right, well, whatever. But
I can agree. I think some villains don't need that. For example, I don't know if you've seen JoJo's. Have you?
No.
So there's a villain in JoJo's who just wants to live a normal life. Okay. And one of the main things, though, that makes him so freaky is because he's a serial killer in disguise, living a normal life around people, joining a family without the family knowing that he's a serial killer. So the whole thing that makes him scary is because there's him in real life. Like, there's people out there that are terrible people, but you don't realize it because they put on this shell, this disguise. And that's what makes him such a top tier villain, in my opinion. But what makes Aizen so good, in my opinion, is because, like I said, you cannot understand Aizen if you don't pay attention to almost every dialogue he says. He does not.
And he's so
Yeah, he is sick and tired of the lie that the royal families have put upon the world, and he
yeah.
wants to change that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and that's the thing. And I get it. What you're saying that some people don't need that, that sympathy aspect of their characters, or some villains. I don't know. It's just that when I compared isn't a Frieza to me, Frieza, because first of all, I'm a Dragon Ball fanatic, but that's besides the point. The point is that when I look at Frieza and I look at the beginning of why he's doing what he's doing, yeah, it's just the typical classic kind of villain vibe.
yeah.
It's just that, I just want to rule everything, and because I just want to rule everything. I mean, I want to rule. I want to have control. I subjugate it to Saiyans. I want to have that control. I just want to rule over everybody and be the emperor of the galaxy once again, or whatever, before the wires of Goku, Vegeta, la la la. And
Yeah.
to me, that's kind of what it is to me. So it's like so much. Like, and don't get me wrong, because without him, there wouldn't be class in Dragon Ball Z. Super, I don't like him that much in there. I feel like Frieza's character is diluted in a sense because how they used him now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like where's Aizen? Like, and that's why I said Aizen, every time he comes on the scene, and it could be in another story for now, we get absolutely hyped. Everybody does, right? Majority of Bleach fans do. We get hyped, and every time I feel like he steals the scene, no matter what. But with Frieza, I don't feel that as much anymore. And I don't know if it's probably because I've been a long time Dragon Ball fan, or maybe it's because of how Super has treated him too, though, compared to his Z counterpart.
You asked me who I was the most sad for death, and if it wasn't Yamamoto, I just remember one that was way worse than Yamamoto, and that would have to be Chair-sama.
Oh man,
he just steals he steals the scene from Aizen. Chair-sama.
Yeah. Chair-sama is just so badass. I mean,
the tragedy, the tragedy of Chair-sama.
You know what I realized? Because every time now about what you partially know what you're getting from Aizen every time he shows up, right?
Yeah.
You partially know in the sense that, there's definitely going to be great dialogue in one aspect or the other, because there usually is. The philosophical view that you kind of have to interpret or whatever in his viewing, in his ways of how he views things. You kind of have to deconstruct everything that he's saying. And I think, to me, it's just like he just has so much more to offer. And I'm not even trying to be biased against Frieza fanatics. Frieza's great. He's a classic villain. And I'm not trying to take it away. Yeah. I'm just saying, when I'm comparing the two, it's
Aizen's just clear, in my opinion.
It's just simple. As simple as that.
But I mean, people. I'm not the biggest Dragon Ball fan. We'll just say that.
Hey, hold on. Without me asking, so how old are you now?
Oh, I'm 17.
And that's the thing too, because obviously Z is ended a long time ago, so I grew up with Z. And I just now, but it's so crazy because people love Dragon Ball Z and they can say whatever they want is because of the power levels that's in there. These godlike beings. And that's the majority of what it is, whether you like to admit it or not. Because you're not gonna sit here and tell me it's just for the freaking story. Because I can go to tell you right now that is false. Don't lie to me. Do not lie. I will stop that. Cell Saga, maybe. I mean, but
I would say Dragon Ball's story does get discredited a little bit, but I don't. I think people are lying if they say the story is carried by the story.
Yes, and my only thing with it is that where people try to look at it and say, like, even a series like me, I'm like, oh no, the things that are automatically better about with Bleach and Naruto, in my opinion, is the story. It's the storytelling. Compared to Z. But that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? If I'm looking at the overall story of it all. I don't know. Yeah. A lot of people freak out about it. They be like, oh, you're saying it's better then? I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying one aspect of what I feel like Bleach and Naruto did better. Get you immersed in their world. And then you go to Super now, not like if you watch it or not. The thing that I dislike about it is that there are no supporting characters. And what I mean by that is the supporting characters that were there, like Piccolo, which everyone knows who Piccolo is, Gohan, which everybody knows who Gohan is, get pushed off to the side. There is no growth for character development for supporting characters. They just is like, nope, you guys get nothing. It's just Goku and Vegeta, and they're gonna save the day, and that's about it.
Yeah,
it's like, okay,
I mean,
like that's not fun.
Yeah, one thing Thousand Year Blood War does amazingly, in my opinion, and every arc of Bleach is, I think Kubo is the best at designing power ups.
Yes.
Yeah. You got Vastolorde, Horns of Salvation.
Yes.
I mean, even Final Bankai Ichigo. Even Final Bankai Ichigo looked sick, and that's why we want to see it.
Dude, all I want is if this anime, I know it's not going to happen or whatever because it's already submitted in the manga. I just want to display at least somewhat of true Bankai Ichigo. Just a little bit. You know what I mean? Before the Bankai actually broke. Just a little bit.
I wish we could. The issue with that is Final Bankai Ichigo was so strong that Yobak feared its power himself.
And that's what people don't understand. I'm like, dude, what is one thing that people that he goes against, that the opposition fear about Ichigo's Bankai, if they know it?
Yeah.
It's the speed. It's literally just the speed of it, right? Like, can you imagine how fast he was in True Shikai, right? And what he was able to do. And then you go with Horn of Salvation to top it. And then you go and you stack True Bankai on top of it. Oh my God. It's
insane. It's mind blowing.
It's insane. It's insane. All right.
Yeah.
But no, so I was gonna say, so what did you think 1,000 Year Blood War? What did you think about Unohana, being the first being a Kenpachi, and all that? Like when you were reading it, like what did you think of it? Like were you like, oh, okay, this is, I mean,
well,
cool.
When I was reading it, I didn't put the book down, but it was great. It was probably one of the best moments in Bleach. I mean, people on my channel know this. I'm not the biggest Kenpachi fan. I love Kenpachi.
Really?
Kenpachi is definitely my top 20 favorite characters, but he's not in my top 10 favorite characters. And that's a controversial take because for most people, he's like top 3 in the series. I love his personality. I love all of his fights. It's just I like characters that are more than just characters that are holding themselves back or are just focused on fighting. And I found 10 characters in Bleach that their story was more my style. Like I have Stark in my top 10 favorite characters list, which is a rare opinion.
He's actually my favorite Spada.
Ooh, let's
actually
go.
My favorite Espada.
I love his backstory. And I know I just criticized backstories. It's just I think Kubo does backstories in a way to more so enhance a story rather than make you feel bad for a character last second. You know?
Yep. And so going off that now, so I'll ask you 2 questions. So who is your favorite captain? Then who is your favorite Bleach character, period?
Captain out of all the captains, including the ones that
actually, if you even want to use the Zero Squad too, they were ex-captains, but I'm
not going to include for favorite captain Izengin or Kaname for the sole purposes that's my favorite character, one of them.
Okay.
But my favorite captain that's not including those 3 is Shinsui. Let's go.
I got a lot of love for that character. It's crazy because you think someone asked me, Blur, if you could go to the bar with one of the Bleach characters, and I chose him immediately. I was like, I would go with him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be cool. Of course, I'd ask for grape juice, but still.
We'll slide it, man. You'd be good. You just take one.
I would love to have a conversation with Shinsui. He seems like such a fun guy to just be around and chill with.
Exactly. He doesn't take himself too seriously, though. Like that's what I love about him. Like, he knows when to be serious. He knows not to take himself too serious.
And I love his philosophy on war. How both sides are evil, not just one. As soon as the war begins, neither side is good. Like,
because you can actually apply it to real life. It's the truth. Like, it is. It is facts. Mans
Yeah.
was spitting.
He is 100% speaking facts there. And I love his
Yeah.
development to becoming the head captain and how he develops
Yes.
into taking charge of the Soul Society. I love his leading style and how
Oh, me
how it's
too.
different from Yamamoto's. Like he's willing to
Bro.
do the most sturdy things. Okay, that sounds really weird out of context. He's willing to do the most corrupt things
No
as long
homo.
as it leads to victory.
Yes, like you remember obviously, the one being him releasing Aizen. Not well,
Hmm.
not really, but bringing Aizen up and be like, "Well," and everybody was like, "No, how could you do it?" Well, what other options do we have? Because
Yeah.
I don't see too many options, and unless you're strong enough to, we don't have
Yeah.
any options.
Or literally sending Unohana to her death.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, like you're cool and all that. I
But you
love
need to
you.
die.
You need to die because we need him to get stronger, or we need to have more fighting power." I'm
Yeah.
sorry to tell you this.
But
Um, it,
I also do love though Shinsui's compassion in a way. Like he made the trip all the way to the world of the living just to let Ichigo's
yes,
friends know that the smallest
yes,
percent chance of Ichigo not being able to return.
yes. And I do also feel like out of the moments that you brought it up now with John Sweet is that no one actually ever brings that up. When you talk about the Thousand Year Blood War, and there's a lot of great
Yeah.
moments. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great moments. I haven't even brought it up until now, but that him and his character development in that, into his leadership, and the first, I remember even after, I think this was before that he found out that he got promoted. That's what Yamamoto wanted.
Yeah.
Obviously, when he sent up that letter, invasion or whatever, and Soul Society was pretty much destroyed, and obviously that's what after Yamamoto passed away. And the captains all gathered together, and they were all crying for him and all this stuff. And he was the one to put his foot down and say, "Hey, this is not what he wanted. This is, this is not how we're gonna honor him by acting this way." No
Oh,
ordeal.
I'm trying to
Um,
remember.
because was that before he got promoted? Or was that after?
I can't
I think that
remember.
was.
I know that Kamamura does something similar as well. When Soy Phone lashes
Yeah.
out, Kamamura looks at him and is like, "Oh, Kamamura, this arc was a goat too."
Yes, it was another thing that gets overlooked.
He
Another thing that
become
gets-
so people hate it when they think characters contradict each other, and that happens a lot in Bleach. People
Yeah.
think because they aren't paying
Mm.
attention. The big thing with Bleach is Tite Kubo puts a lot of development based during the fights of each respective character and slowly
Mm.
builds upon each character. But because Bleach is 700 chapters long, it's really
Yep.
hard to put pieces together sometimes in your head. Because
Yes.
development that's shown in Soul Society arc, where Kamamura says that Yamamoto was the man that pretty much saved him, and he owes
Mm.
everything to Yamamoto. Because that was like 500 chapters before Yamamoto's death, people forget that that's what Kamamura said. Like the
Yeah.
and the whole part where Kamamura fights Bambietta, he becomes a hypocrite. He does the very
Yeah.
thing he told Kaname not to do. He falls into
Yep.
despair and he becomes a true monster. And that's one of the symbolism with Kamamura is that humans are monsters and animals are actually, well, the monsters, when you're a monster on the outside, on the inside, you're a kind-hearted person. But when you're
Yep.
a human on the inside, you're filled with rage. And that was one of the symbolisms that Kubo was trying to draw with Kamamura's character. That and the
Yep.
cover for that volume is top tier.
Oh, absolutely fire. Like I call everything on my page now. I have this rating system. See, Bleach will forever live on the page. Regardless of, obviously there's not nothing that I'm putting out with it. Except I think the last thing was Bleach Brave Souls. I did a playthrough of that. But so I have this rating system after I read a chapter of a manga or something, or even watching a reaction. So it's like a three level rating. I give it the first one being fire. The second one being Amaterasu. Amaterasu is like a, I don't know, I'm sure you're familiar with it. And the third being Zanko no Tachi, just to add that in there. So no matter what, so if something is fire or something is like oh crazy, I always say, oh that's Zanko no Tachi, that's Zanko no Tachi. Even in my personal life now, I'm like instead of fire, like when I'm watching a basketball game, I'm like that's Zanko no Tachi, and everybody's just looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about? Like you don't get it.
You don't understand.
Don't understand my pain. This is the honor getting Ryusai Yamamoto, okay?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, well, another thing that did not disappoint was Zaka no Tachi.
I mean, you're spitting there.
Dude, jeez.
I
lost it.
Yeah.
I lost it when he said Bankai. I was like...
Yeah, I was talking to a friend earlier that's only seen the anime, and he thought that Shikai was his Bankai. So when I said he actually had a Bankai, he was like, wait, what? This man has a Bankai?
And now you know why he did not use it in the arc. It's man, I love everything about it. That's actually my favorite Bankai of the series. Zanka no Tachi. It's my favorite one.
It is between that and one other one for me. Between Zanka no Taichi and Shinsui's Bankai.
Oh, that's the thing too. See, I love Kubo so much. Just obviously, I love Kubo the way it is, but even with that, and because it's almost like obviously the with Bankais is it's almost a part of that character's personality or that character's power set, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so beautiful, especially I would say one in particular that I was not expecting. I was like, oh, I did not. I was kind of expecting something else, but I still loved it. Was Urahara's, which is he's actually my favorite character, my favorite Bleach character in the series.
That's fair. I love
Kisuke. Kisuke, absolutely love him. That's another guy I would go out to the bar and hang out.
It would depend on which Kisuke for me. But yeah, he has one of the strongest Bankais for his character. Like, if Ichigo had his Bankai, Ichigo would suck. But because it's Kisuke, his Bankai is absolutely broken.
Dude, I was not expecting that. I was like, you know what I mean? It's just, but that's how Kubo works, though. You know, and I respect him I respect that, though. He is so creative when it comes with those powers and those abilities. He is so creative.
And the foreshadowing for it is great. First of all, he never wanted to use Bankai around people, so Yuabak wouldn't know. And second of all, it is a Bankai that would be very awkward to train Chad with.
Yeah. You're like, oh, hey.
You know, the best moment in Thousand Year Blood War, though, was off screen. Chad versus the statues, man.
Why are you playing with my emotions, man? Dude, it's so crazy. At the beginning of the series, man, the Shinigami arc, right? And I love Chad. Absolutely still love Chad. I was like, Chad is that guy. I can't wait to see what he becomes at the end of the series. I love him. Yeah, let's go, Team Chad. Team Chad over here. I get to the end of the series, and I'm just so upset. I'm like, bruh. Like, I get it. We all know that Ichigo's supposed to be the strongest out of all the supporting characters. Is he's the MC. I get that, but I just felt like one of the good moments he had in that final arc that I was like, okay, that's cool, is when Ichigo was chasing Yuha because Yuha was taking off into the Soul Palace. Remember, Ichigo was trying to chase after him, but then he saw Ishida on the top, with Yuha, and he's like questioning why are you with him? Uri, why are you with him? Why are you with them? And all that. And he was just upset about it. But then it was Chad who put him in his place. He's like, don't you think we're all mad about this? Like, just trust in his plan. Obviously, he did this for a reason. And I was like, oh, you know what? That's a good moment Chad had, because he hasn't had many moments in a very long time. Yeah. And he keeps taking L's, and I'm getting mad.
I think it will be nice to actually see the statue fight To be fair, though, in the anime.
It was just off screen. It was like, okay, here's your part. Here's Kubo. Here's your
Yeah.
part. Go off screen.
And the statues weren't even explained on why they could move too. They just started moving.
like, hold on.
Kubo was like, I can't have Chad be dying here. I gotta use the. Yeah,
He said I had to have him do something.
Yeah.
Okay, he has to be fighting something. Okay,
Kubo could have slided the man one of the Stern Riders. Come on.
that would have been cool.
Yeah.
It would have been cool. Give him something. I think Chad is worthy.
Yeah.
Chad is worthy, and
Yeah, you brought something up that I actually want to talk about, and that's Ryu's involvement in Thousand Year Blood War. I liked it, but I wish his betrayal was handled better. I wish it was handled to the point where we as the audience were questioning his loyalties.
gotcha.
Like I actually
like, really.
the Uryu's the type of character that I feel like he's calm and collective, but in order to do something, he would look at the big picture. Like I think he would kill Captain, because remember he still hates the Shinigami. He just likes Ichigo, so I could see Uryu still killing a captain, and I think it would have been so much more believable if we saw Uryu shoot and kill one of the captains.
Even I would say that absolutely, because that would have been like, what? No. Even if he was the injured, let's say if he injured Ukitake before, and then obviously, he's still healing, did whatnot. Even if he did that, I would have been like, oh damn. Or even if he injured Chad, maybe, even if it's something that made you be like, oh, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? Kind of, I definitely agree with that. I mean,
I was looking through the captains thinking which one would probably work the best, and I was thinking Soifun would probably work the best as a death. She doesn't really have much involvement past her one moment asked her in the spot.
What do you think about Soifun, actually? She's an interesting character.
She's a well-written character that I don't really have any care for.
Same here. People will be like, you hate her, Blur. And I'm like, I don't hate her. It's just, I don't care. Like, I don't care.
I will say I liked her moment when she lashed out at Squad Zero, but...
Yeah. Saying, like, what do you got? Hey, that was a cool moment, though.
Yeah.
And who was it that was talking to her?
That
was
Kamamura.
Said...
No, yeah, Kamamura called her out when she was starting to get upset with Yamamoto.
Who was the person?
The person
for Squad Zero
caught her arm. That would be the water guy. I can't remember his name because I don't care about him.
Yeah, and he was like, well, you guys are actually the one that's supposed to protect Soul Society. Yeah. We're actually here to protect the Soul Palace. And I was like, ooh, ow, burn.
Yeah, you could see both sides, though, of the argument, too. That's what I loved about it.
Yeah, and I get that, too. Yeah. Speaking of that, the Zero Squad. What did you think about them overall? Yeah.
They're overhated. I think 3 of them were actually really interesting and didn't disappoint me as characters. The rest disappointed me. And those 3 would be Oetsu, the guy that created the Zanpakuto.
Oetsu, yes. I love me some him.
I think her name is Senjama or Senjuma. Can't remember her name.
Is it
the clothing one, the arm one?
Yes, she has. She has a dope design, by the way.
And her fight is actually really sick, where she defeats the Wind Stern Rider, which I think a lot of people overlook that fight. Like, that's sick. Like, in seconds, she just defeats the Stern Rider. And then the third one, I mean, we already know the third one, Ichibe.
Ichibe is just so, man, oh man, and I get it. Some people are like, well, they should have had more screen time, or they should have done more, or I'm like, dude, I mean,
that wasn't their purpose in the story.
I mean, it's not. I think they fulfilled their purpose for the most part. I was shocked where Grimjaw did come back, though. I was kind of shocked about it because how the way they left it in the anime from where I watch it, you didn't know from Noitra, hurting him even more before he fought Ichigo. Yeah. We didn't know what happened with Grimjaw at that point. I was like, okay, so is he okay? Is he dead? Is he what's going on? What's going on? Yeah. And I thought that was cool. What did you think about his return, though?
He didn't do anything.
He was just there for the surprise factor. Like, oh, hey, I'm here.
I do
I
like
want to
how
kill
his
you.
main focus was to attack Ichigo.
Little does he know,
Yeah.
though. Little does he know, he wouldn't stand a chance.
Oh yeah, he would be toast against that Ichigo.
The battle would start, and Ichigo would just be like, "Bro, I'm sorry to tell you this." That's why I was laughing because it's like it's cool to see him, and he still has that rivalry with Ichigo or whatever. I was like, okay, that's still cool. But
Yeah.
to your point, I mean, um,
He chases after
did
one.
help Kisuke.
Yeah.
Did help Kisuke, I guess. I mean, but I get what you're saying.
And also, he is mentioned in Can't Fear Your Own World, so you might want to
Ooh.
peep that. There's a whole storyline with Grim John here.
So, how do you rate? Where do you rate Can't Figure Your Own World on a scale from 1 to
9.5.
10? Ooh,
So far,
I gotta get
I'm
it.
only halfway through Can't Fear Your Own World Volume 2. But
I gotta get it. I gotta get it.
yeah, it's the first volume
get
is
it.
phenomenal. The second prologue is all about Kaname's backstory.
Okay.
It moves Kaname from like an A tier character for me to an S tier character. Like it talks about his emotions so descriptively and so well
Wow.
as he's watching his friend die and not get justice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I mean,
Like
I gotta get it.
oh, where is it? It's also you get some an Aizen speech in it. So, there you go.
Yes. I love me some Aizen's speech.
And the speech is actually really good. It's the reason behind Aizen's killing Kaname. Why
Ooh.
Aizen actually killed Kaname, and it's not why you as a viewer would probably think.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Man.
And it's serious because a lot of people, when people don't like Aizen, they say he falls off when he starts hurting his own comrades. I disagree. Even if he
disagree
did,
too.
even if he did, but the comrades that he hurts, he has he actually has a good reason for it. Like Kaname, first of all, was no longer his comrade.
Yeah.
Second of all, even if you were gonna try to make that argument with Kaname, Aizen actually has a reason for killing him. That's spoken about in Can't For Your Own World. And if you actually pay attention in the manga, you can kind of see it and start to understand his perspective in there.
Gotcha.
Gin tries to kill him. Like, he has a reason to kill Gin.
Mm-hmm.
And then Harry Bell.
She was just, I think for him at that point, because I was always thinking about it too, just a little bit, but not really overthinking it. I just think it's just one of those things that is like, you're really not useful to me right now. And at this point, I mean, you still could be, but at this point, I can take care of the situation on my own now.
Yeah. But also,
I mean, that's the vibe I was getting from it.
If you pay attention, technically he saves Harry Bell.
Oh, yeah, from Hisagaya?
Yeah.
From other people.
From everybody.
Yeah, because at that point, everybody else. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. That makes sense.
Because all the other Espadas are dying in their fights.
Yes. Yes.
So
Then
if he didn't cut down Harry Bell there, Harry Bell would have died. So technically, if anything, him betraying Harry Bell saved Harry Bell. You see, that's Kubo for you.
Yeah, that's right. And oh man,
Kubo's like
so
that. Yeah, Kubo's like that meme of the guy that's just like.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Don't try to look into it too much, guys.
Yeah. But yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, this was supposed to be like 30 minutes, and it was supposed to be mostly Thousand Year Blood War stuff. But I think we can tell this as part of this mini podcast series. But obviously, I mean, I think this has been pretty entertaining. It's been fun talking to you, Blur. If you guys want me to do another collab with Blur, let me know in the comment section down below. It's a lot of fun talking Bleach with anyone, especially somebody who just finished the story.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But thank you, Blur, once again for coming out here and joining us here on the channel. Check out Blur. He does a bunch of reactions. I think you're currently reading Tower of God, God of High School, Solo Leveling 2, I think.
Solo Leveling, Omniscient Reader. A lot of manhwas over there. Don't worry, I'll be getting back to animes. Everybody's been drilling me about it, killing me, threatening to kill me, and Yeah, but it's been good just to read. I'm more of a reader now though. And,
Yeah.
ever since Bleach, reading the manga as opposed to anime, I don't know. I love reading more on the channel more than I like reacting to anime. I don't know. It's weird.
I think both are great. I just think manga is just such a different medium and experience to go
It,
through.
it, it is. Yes, to your point, both are great. It's not
Yeah.
taking one over the other. It's just me right now.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, once again, sub to his channel, peep his channel, and yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Peace.